by the authority vested in me by the District of Columbia, I now proclaim you to be legally married.
Today marked the first day same-sex couples in Washington, D.C. could wed. 3 couples that were the first to apply for a license last week are now among the first to be legally married.
Tina, when I think I can't love you, respect you, and cherish you more, tomorrow comes.
Rocky Galloway and Reggie Stanley took the plunge, joined by their 2 young daughters.
I present to you the Stanley Galloway family.
The fact that the first 3 couples to be married in Washington, D.C. were all black couples received a lot of media attention across the country.
What prompted us originally were statements that black gay folks didn't exist, so it was important for us to be there as part of the community that could really say, you know, we are here, we are in love with one another, we have a family together, children we're raising.
Proposition 8 was a tipping point for me. I was always split and divided. You know, I was either African American or I was lesbian. And so when Proposition 8 happened, and it couldn't be those people didn't get what they needed. It was we didn't get. I became them. And I willed myself together because I was no longer going to live in a divided world, and being willing to say that yes, I was not only lesbian, but I wanted to be married. Because before then, I didn't think I could be. Seeing that being denied in California tipped me over. Not just a tipping point, it tipped me over into a new state of mind, saying that it's okay to be all of who I am, and it's okay for me to be married, and it's okay for me to say it out loud and to live out loud.
I believe in the institution of marriage. I was raised by my grandparents who have been married for like 6 years. And I saw 2 human beings always in each other's corner. So it just goes, it's just, that's what I mean, I saw it, I was brought up in it, so therefore I wanted to be a part of it, and that's why I did it.
I remember it came out and all the media was out there, and I said, I don't have a political stand. I just wanted to marry him.
The wedding was almost indescribable. It was magical, it was spiritual. This was history in the making, and you could feel it shifting, you could feel the page turning. And it was like we were being moved along on some kind of conveyor belt, on what felt like we were enclosed in this joyous, kind of peaceful place.
I was very aware that day that that moment was about us. And it was also about the hopes and dreams for thousands and thousands and thousands of other couples who yearn to be able to have that moment for themselves. And so we kind of stood in the gap for them until they can make that same crossing.
The date of the wedding will be August 27th, 2011. For me, it means seeing 2 African American men who have a strong sense of family and relationship and commitment and can do it. We cook, you know, we sometimes clean. I don't like cleaning, but we wash clothes, you know, we hug our kids, we read bedtime stories.
And also they're showing, dispelling the myth that they may have about same-gender loving relationships, especially about 2 men. You know, we're not all, well, I don't dance on the tables. I think sometimes you do that sometimes. You know, we're all about the family and building a life.
And friendship, and love, and fun.
And being fierce.
And fierce.
I couldn't be more proud to be mayor of a city that is standing up against an issue that tramples the basic rights and civil liberties of our neighbors, of our families, and of our friends.
The push for gay marriage in D.C. has really been a long one, and I'd say it goes back at least 20 years. But the longtime activists in this town had laid the groundwork for marriage equality by only electing people that were supportive of it.
To have a majority of the city's leadership that is African Americans supported marriage equality was critical, including, our mayor at the time, our new mayor, our delegate to Congress.
Well, the opposition, of course, led by Bishop Harry Jackson and others in this area, came from African American clergy.
Don't let people get you talking about gay rights. This is not about a gay right. There's a difference between civil rights and sacred rights.
But the homosexuals want to have their sexual choices protected, as if being gay were the same as being black.
And so we were very strategic in making sure that since the oppositional voices did seem to be represented by people of color, that the lead voices for DC Clergy United were also people of color. That the opposition was clergy, so the lead voices were clergy.
We have gathered here today to affirm in the immortal words of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
For many, many years, we have been teaching and preaching inclusivity.
When we look at the Bible, we see many different family configurations. And the families that are members of our church, whose parents are same gender-loving parents, are no less legitimate, no less authentic, no less loving and caring than any other families that we have. I anticipated many years ago that if we were serious about being inclusive and welcoming and affirming, that one day we would face this question and this challenge. It was not difficult to pull this coalition together of ministers, and in doing so, we were able to refute the notion that this was anti-religious to be in support of gay marriage. We refuted the notion that it was anti-black, that it was only a white issue. And we refuted the notion, our being a heterosexual couple, that there were only gay people who were in support of marriage equality.
The neatest days in my public service career was the morning when we went to the court to see people line up in the queue to receive their licenses. And at that moment, I just really knew we had won.
Oh, yes it will.
We've had a lot of those moments recently in our history in this country, where people have seen the fruition of things that they never thought they would see. This marriage equality in the district was one of those moments.
It was a low-key affair at the Covenant Baptist Church. Just a handful of council members, pastors, and activists from the gay community on hand for a few words and speeches. The quiet ceremony was perhaps fitting for a law that at the time of its passing garnered a lot of controversy, but has since faded into the background.
This documentary is our way of bringing light to the intersection of racial justice and LGBT equality. As Black people, we're a part of the civil rights struggle. We should not have to choose between our racial identity and our LGBT identity. This is just a snapshot of a few couples that exist within our Black LGBT community who are deeply committed to full equality for all.
My hope for LGBT equality in the next 10 years is that the next generation will not have to tread over this same soil. We are on the cusp, on the very cusp of a day when everyone really will be judged by the content of our character. We're almost there.